Hey everyone, Cass here again on Transform Your Life, where I teach you how to heal from mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease by talking to you guys about all the nuanced ways that our society is keeping us in states of dis-ease from a large scale level, a macrocosmic level, all the way down to a microcosmic level, a small scale level. And I teach about a lot of different subjects and topics when it comes to what's causing us to be in this state of chaos and disarray internally in our interpersonal relationships. So the people that we have direct contact with on a daily basis, all the way up to the way we have been institutionalized and systematically programmed to be on the receiving end of narcissistic abuse, and also simultaneously have been conditioned to be narcissistic ourselves, okay? So I psychically tune in to a lot of people's thoughts about what they think about me and my content, and I get a lot of people thinking I'm very chaotic in my approach and like I'm all over the place with what I'm speaking about, what I'm teaching about. And I am all over the place, but not in the way that people think, because everything I speak about is interconnected. Everything I talk about is relevant. Everything I'm talking about touches every single one of our lives in some way, shape, or form. And the more you can become aware of what's happening systemically, institutionally, in all these different ways, right? Not just in your interpersonal relationships. You have to become aware of the large scale level as well if you're really committed to reversing the aging process. So if you're new to my channel, yes, you heard me right. Because when you come into balance, when you heal mental, emotional, and physical dis-ease by coming into balance, what is going to happen is that by doing so, you are going to reverse the aging process. So now, I say this so nonchalantly because this has been an awareness of mine for a while that I have been instructed until recently to keep to myself. So I have taken time to allow this discovery of mine to sink in. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I encourage you to go back to the video, did you know you have immortal cells in your body? It's a few videos back on my channel. Go to that video, watch it, and then come back to this video, okay? So you're not like, what? I'm so confused. This girl is like, has she lost her mind? Like, no, I actually found my mind. I've actually come into a lot more order in my life when it comes to my mental state, my emotional state, and the way I show up in the world. And this is why I look so young for my age. This is why my skin looks so amazing without any makeup on the skin. So all I wear is mascara and lipstick. Sometimes lipstick, sometimes I don't wear any lipstick. So people always confuse me as someone who's at least 15 years younger than I really am, because I've been devoted and committed to coming into balance myself for over a decade. I've been doing this work for over a decade. And the work starts with you being willing to evaluate and analyze yourself over and over and over again, and your belief systems and the way you've been socialized to believe what you believe, okay? So before I go any further into this subject matter today, I want to correct a few things that I said in the last video. There's two things that I need to correct that I said. So in my last video, if you go in 4 minutes and 50 seconds into the video, I'm talking about this narcissistic pattern of behavior, this conscious pattern of behavior that functions to, for those of you who have been on the receiving end of this the extreme form of narcissistic abuse, that functions to make you believe that you don't matter and that you are not important. And what I said about 4 minutes and 50 seconds in is something along the lines of, if you can't thrive and be successful in life if you know how wonderful and amazing and talented you are, something along those lines. And what I meant to say is, you can't thrive and be successful in life if you don't know how, incredible and amazing you are. So the more God energy you embody in life, especially as a child, the more, if you are raised by narcissistic people and around narcissistic people during your upbringing all the way through adulthood, the more those people around you will seek to distort your self-image by robbing you of your knowing that you truly are amazing, okay? Because they can see your God energy within you expressed through you. And so they want to distort your self-image by robbing you of your knowing that you actually are amazing, you actually are capable, that anything is possible. And so one of the ways they rob you of that knowing is to, like I said in the past video, leave you for dead, making you think that you don't matter, that you're not important, over and over and over again. And so that's really important I clear up, because when you step back into your inner knowing that you are amazing, that you can be successful, then you're taking your power back and you're stepping back into that God energy, embodying that God energy you were born with, that childlike energy that is so confident in oneself and just shows up in the world in such a fearless, expansive way, right? So I hope that makes sense. If you're like, wait, what is she talking about? Go to my last video as well and watch it, and then come back to this one. The second part that I need to clarify, correct, is that at the end of the video, when I was talking about working with me one-on-one, I was talking about my demand going up over time and how now is the perfect time to work with me because I have such a small following. And I made a big mistake, and I said that not only my demand was going to go up, but my prices would go up over time. And I need to apologize for saying such things. I realize and recognize I can charge a price that isn't lowballing myself. Is that the right term? Anyways, you know what I mean. I can charge a price that is fair to me and what I am doing, and that is still affordable to people who are disenfranchised, and keep my prices at that price no matter how much my demand goes up. So my demand is going to go up, but I am not going to raise my prices, because I am here to help people who are disenfranchised. I am here to help people who are disabled. I know what it's like to go a long time without any income, to be bedbound, to be, void of resources for so long, feeling trapped, feeling imprisoned, feeling like life is so unfair. And so I don't want to be raising my prices ever. At least that's how I feel right now, okay? So I made that mistake in saying that. My prices are not going to go up. So if you want to work with me, I'm going to leave my email in the description box below. I'm going to offer an hourly rate and a 30-minute rate. For those of you who may not be able to afford the hourly, I'm going to offer a 30-minute rate, and hopefully that will be helpful to those of you who are working toward being able to work with people like me. And if you can't afford working with me right now, don't get discouraged, okay? Because I can tell you, I used to not be able to afford to work with people, and I worked baby step by baby step toward being able to do that. So please don't get discouraged, and remember, anything is possible over time. And if you keep watching my free content, I can guarantee you that I'm going to give you a lot of the tools anyway to help you step toward your freedom, okay? Your liberation in every way. Now, that doesn't mean that you cannot get more value in working with me one-on-one, because I can definitely do more working with somebody one-on-one. But I also, those of you who are disabled and not able to work, I am so with you. I totally get you. I totally understand the oppression one goes through. Those of you who are not able to produce an income at the moment. And I want you to know that I've been there, and that you are not alone. And I just want you to also believe in possibility over time, so you don't stay stuck, so you don't feel like you are stuck in your position and that you have to be stuck in your position for the rest of your life. So let me pause for a moment to see where my spiritual team wants me to go next. Okay, you guys, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting to speak on this today. Because it is what's the term I want to use? It has been classified as a divisive political subject, but my spiritual team is telling me to speak on this. And before I do this, I want to preface it by saying I do not affiliate myself with a certain political identity. I am all about integration. I am all about coming into balance as an individual. And how you do that, how I've done that, is I assess and analyze political stances from all different walks of life, different spectrums. You know, I don't align myself with the left, just the left, or the right, or a neutral, moderate stance, etc., etc. What I do is, and by the way, side note, it is not possible to be neutral. That is another topic for another video, but I just want to say, when people say take a neutral stance, I'm going to be talking about in future videos why I believe it's not possible to be neutral. But what I am encouraging people to do is to, and what I'm going to do here on my channel is I am going to take pieces and aspects of balanced, healthy worldviews and perspectives from different political stances and viewpoints, and I merge them together. I integrate them together to bring you into a balanced worldview, a worldview perspective, where you're not part of a splintered group, where we're not fractured in our thinking politically when it comes to political subjects, but we can listen to so many different viewpoints, and we can take the good and what is balanced out of every group in our society, and we integrate it for fairness, for justice, for equilibrium, and we are able to come into balance by not aligning with one perspective, but hearing everyone out in terms of what is fair, what is just, what is working, what is producing a result. Okay, that is what I am all about. And so in this video, my spiritual team is telling me to speak on anti-blackness in our society, and what I am being called to talk about right now is really going to be a gem, an insight that I want to share with the Black community. Now, I am sharing this perspective, this gem of awareness with the Black community as a primarily white woman. And I'm speaking in terms of what I see happening in the white community, okay? As a psychic medium, as an intuitive, who I am able to tune in and share insights, hidden insights, as to what is going on collectively in white and non-Black communities toward the Black community, so that I can share some insights with the Black community in terms of what is going on to bring clarity, bring some clarity and healing and liberation to a sense of liberation when it comes to the Black community, when it comes to understanding more about what's really going on, okay? In terms of, why are white and non-black communities making making the black community feel like they don't matter, okay? Now this goes along with my previous video. If you want to go back and watch it, I'm talking about how a narcissistic mentality functions to make you feel like you don't matter and why, okay? And in the last video, I was talking about it on an interpersonal level that was not race related, but right now my spiritual team is guiding me to share some insights with the black community as a whole as to why white and non-black communities have shown up in such a way as to make you feel like you don't matter, okay? And it's for the same reason that I mentioned in the last video, okay? And what I've been guided to share with my audience through my spiritual team and downloads that I have seen and received over time as I have psychoanalyzed society in my own unique way with my spiritual gifts for a while now, is what I was told is that collectively the black community are a collective of spiritual beings who embody high levels of God energy. So what do I mean by God energy? God energy is expansive energy. It's energy where you're really tapping into your creative side. Like I said, your expansive side. You're tapping into your ability to be and express, limitless possibilities in terms of skills, talents you can develop in this lifetime, in terms of, magic you can tap into and be creating whatever it is you desire to create in this life. It's tapping into whatever it is you desire to want to embody in this lifetime. It's tapping into your ability to age gracefully, and not only age gracefully, but like what I'm doing right now, I'm teaching everybody how to reverse age. So what I have recognized with white and non-black communities, and when I listen to collectively the black community talk about their experiences, how they're feeling about, the white and non-black communities stereotyping them to be, people who are, give me just a second, I need to pause to collect the exact words that I want to use here, because this is a very difficult subject matter to talk about, and I want to make sure that I'm using the right words. So when I'm listening to the collective of Black people talk about their experience of being stereotyped by white and non-Black communities, what you are experiencing is a collective white and non-Black narcissistic mentality that is observing the Black community from observing and verbalizing what is important to them, to a narcissistic mentality, and how they view the Black community in terms of what is valuable to them and their narcissistic way of thinking. So a narcissistic mentality functions to live on the surface. It values a person's talent, skill, strength, athletic ability, the way they dress, the way they look, the way they carry themselves. So when I'm observing the Black community say, I feel stereotyped and only acknowledged for superficial reasons, and oh, is that all I'm good for? One, absolutely not. It's not all anyone is good for, but a narcissistic mentality functions to only value what is on the surface and aspects of an individual that are in relation to achievement and scoring and, having the winning touchdown, being the most athletic, being the most beautiful, okay? And this is why cultural appropriation exists, is because what a lot of people I don't think are recognizing, including the Black community, is that white and non-Black communities do not actually feel superior to the Black community. They actually feel inferior. This is the secret that I think a lot of people are not seeing, is that the white and non-Black communities feel inferior to the Black community. And so over time, they've aggressively worked to keep the Black community the most disenfranchised and underprivileged, because they see the Black community as embodying the most God energy and being the most physically beautiful and being the most capable and talented. They are voicing what is most important to them on a superficial level. And that's where the stereotyping comes in. Even though the Black community is so much more than that, right? But a narcissistic mentality functions to only value certain things. And so, because a narcissistic mentality is so void of self-worth and stepping into their own God energy, what they're going to do is look at a collective community that they think is better than them. They secretly admire you on so many levels. This is why they culturally appropriate and adopt and steal from your culture. And they deny doing so. This is why they take credit for your innovative ideas and your creations. And they take credit and say it was their creation, it was their innovative idea, because they copy, a narcissistic mentality copies what it sees in other people and communities that it wants to be itself. This is why the beauty standard is the way it is in our collective society in the Western world, is because secretly people admire the way the Black community looks. For example, this is why women go and get their lips plumped, and it's not the only thing, okay? I'm just giving you one example. There's many other examples and ways that people copy and try to create the physicality of the Black community in many different ways, because they see you as like the ultimate standard of beauty, the ultimate standard of God energy, okay? But most people will not admit this. Instead of admitting to their secret admiration, their secret admiration quickly turns to envy and hatred. And this is why they feel, the collective of white and non-Black communities feel threatened. They feel threatened by the Black community, but not in the way you think. They do not feel threatened by you in terms of the way the Black community has been programmed to think. The Black community has been programmed to think that white and non-Black people see Black people as a threat regarding criminality. The white and non-Black communities see the Black community as a threat to their own sense of self, because they see amazing qualities in the Black community, okay? This is really important to grasp. As I've sat and observed many people share from the Black community that, you know, they believe that white and non-Black communities think that they are superior to the Black community. The reality is that the collective of white and non-Black communities feel inferior to you. So what they've done covert aggressively over time is to make you believe that you don't matter by you not being seen, acknowledged, and heard. White and non-Black communities function to not acknowledge the way you have been severely disenfranchised and your privileges taken away from you, so that you can stay disenfranchised, so that they can feel like they have a one-up on you, or more than a one-up on you, okay? Because there's levels to privilege. So I'm being guided again to say, if you go back to my last video and you're listening to how I'm describing why a narcissistic mentality functions, what the motivation is to make you believe that you don't matter. In the last video, I'm describing why on an interpersonal level, but this also applies on an institutional level and systematic level when it comes to anti-Blackness, and why the Black community is treated so horrifically by the collective of white and non-Black communities, and their reality is denied over and over and over again, as to make the Black community believe that white and non-Black communities don't see you, don't hear you, don't acknowledge you, so that you can believe that you are inferior, that you are not important, and that you don't matter. This is The collective of white and non-black communities' goal is to make you believe that. To believe that you are not drop dead gorgeous, beautiful, capable, powerful, so that they can rob you of your God energy and distort your perception of self, so that you stay stuck where you are. They keep you in a constant state of rage through covert, aggressive tactics that most of the time are conscious. It's just traditional psychology taught everyone that white fragility most of the time is a defense mechanism. I'm here to tell you that white fragility is an offensive, covert, aggressive tactic most of the time to keep the black community in a state of chaos and confusion. And it's not just white fragility, it's any fragility from any community, any non-black community, not just the white community. So this is how these communities keep the black community in a state of exhaustion when when the black community is expressing and asking and begging for acknowledgement and reparations and repair. Okay, white narcissism and non-black narcissism collectively functions to covert, aggressively dismiss you over and over and over again, so that you can stay trauma bonded, you can stay in this systematic, institutional trauma bond where you're not actually seeing what's really going on. And this is how the trauma bond works. The trauma bond functions so that you can't see clearly as to what is going on. And I'm here to tell the black community how powerful you actually are, how beautiful and wonderful you actually are. And this is why you are the most underprivileged, disenfranchised community, because everyone else can see how amazing you actually are on so many levels, and they want to rob you collectively of you knowing that and knowing that you actually matter. Now, I'm talking about a collective of people, okay? There's always exceptions to the rule. There's always exceptions to the rule, and this is why judging people based on their merit is so important, which is not my idea. This is something that people have been talking about for quite some time now, is judging people based on their merit, because not every single white or non-black person functions to show up this way, okay? But most of them do. In the relationship dynamic, when it comes to their interactions with the black community. So I highly encourage the black community to start learning about covert aggressive manipulation and what that looks like and how that shows up in conversation with white and non-black communities. Which I'll go into more on this channel. But if you start learning about covert aggressive manipulation tactics, a narcissistic covert aggressive manipulation tactic, you will start to be able to recognize it and realize it in white and non-black communities, and you'll be able to see that it's not a defense mechanism and that they are covertly working to continue to gaslight you so that you can stay where you are and they can stay and maintain their position of power. I'm gonna pause for a moment to see where I'm guided to go next. So I'm being guided to give you an example of covert aggressive manipulation inflicted onto the Black community that has been classified as a defense mechanism. So one of the ways that a narcissistic covert aggressive tactic functions on a conscious level to get you to back down from asserting your right to be treated with dignity and respect and equality and justice is for the narcissistic mentality to go into a fit of rage, to go into a explosive moment where their emotion is coming to the surface to make you believe that they can't handle what you're saying to them, or it's too, it's just too much for them to hear the truth about your reality. And the truth is that they're using emotion and rage and upset purposely to get you to be quiet, to get you to back down. Because if they can get you to back down, you stay where you are feeling like you don't matter. And this is why the whole Black Lives Matter movement has manifested, because it's the collective emotional feeling, one of many, manifesting in the emotionality of the Black community after being on the receiving end of such levels of conditional love for so long, where the Black community has not received any love, respect, and decency from the white and non-Black collective for so long that they're crying out, we do matter. We do matter. Black lives matter, okay? This is a psychology. This is an emotional manifestation. So you guys, that is what I was guided to share with you today. Please be patient with me as I learn how to articulate these tough subjects over time. There's many nuances to this subject and many others. This is what I was guided to speak on today. Again, I speak on many different topics in our society when it comes to narcissism on a systematic and large scale level, all the way down to an interpersonal level, okay? So I think that's where I'm going to leave it today. And if this resonated with you today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Again, if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I'm going to leave my contact information, my email in the description box below, and I will continue on in the next video.